Hi, everybody. Zach here for another episode of our flagship program, The Spideydude Experience. This episode is brought to you by our loyal patrons over at patreon.com/Spideydude Network. Pledge today and get both early access to content on the main channel, as well as entirely exclusive content, like brand new shows and commentaries for old Spidey stuff, including commentaries for the MTV series, for example, as well as the video editions for Voices from the Eyrie Gargoyles Podcast. And our Patreon first show focused on the Krakoan era of X-Men. We also want to encourage you to check out our other programs that are all available on Audio Edition. These are all over on Spideydude.com, and they're available on your favorite podcasting app. Shows like Clone Saga Chronicles, the show that started this entire network, Spectacular Radio, Spectacular Sal Buscema era podcast, Amazing Spider-Man Classics, the Slot Symposium, and the sister program on this channel, Make Mine Mayday. As always, be sure to hit the like button. It really does help us big time in the algorithm. And additionally, if you have topics you'd like to cover on a live show or in a recorded medium, make sure to leave a comment down below the description or shoot us an email at SpideyDudeRadioNetwork@gmail.com. Finally, make sure to join our community. Be alerted to all new updates by hitting that subscribe button and clicking on the bell. But to be clear, your viewership is more than enough for us. And if you want to hang out with us off YouTube, you can always go to our Discord, where we have all sorts of fun stuff, or you can join us on our social medias and follow us there. All the links are down in the description below. As always, we want to be making some references to visual aids and or live comments. If you're an audio listener, pay that no mind, but leave that 5-star review for us. Any and all feedback we will read on future episodes. Thank you, and without further ado, let's get rolling with this episode.
That sounds about right. Hate it here.
Let's get rolling with this episode of the Spideydude Experience. Hello, everybody. I'm Zach Joyner, your friendly neighborhood webmaster of Spidey-Dude.com and host of the program, and I am joined by my kooky quartet of co-hosts, with an additional one coming here shortly whenever he decides to show up. So, first to my left, I've got Ultimate Neil. Hello, Ultimate Neil.
Well, you pointed the wrong way, but that's okay.
Hi, everyone. I'm Neil.
Hey, look, a way better looking Neil.
Yeah, facts.
Huh?
You were supposed to agree.
You've done worse to me, so this is just payback.
Yeah, I know.
All right, so to my
Oh, no.
No, Neil, don't nope out. Come back. All right. So, what was that?
I don't know.
All right. Below me is Ultimate Josh. Hopefully I was pointing in the right direction.
Close enough.
And then we got Ultimate Adam. Hello, Ultimate Adam.
Hey. Hi.
And then right next to me is Ultimate Ashley. Or Ultimate ? Ashley. Mm-hmm. She's questioning whether she's ultimate or not. So, hello, everybody. Welcome to the latest episode. We already got comments. Oh, man. Hey, it's Spideydude time. What's up, Jetpunk P? This is the best his internet has looked for a while. I have not gone to Comcast yet, buddy. I'm still using T-Mobile, so we'll see what happens later. Ultimate Neil. He's extremely moody and snaps everyone while saying outdated lingo from the 2000s.
Well, at least I'm not Wolverine.
Thank you, Walter.
Thanks.
Well, Neil's hair looks wonderful and blonde. Jesus Christ.
I'm not Oh, Ashley.
That's why I answered. Hi, Walter.
Ooh, we're a little slow today.
Oh, right over my head.
Like a NASCAR race just going right past me.
I got on the short bus today.
Did you ever get off of it, though?
No, leave me alone. I was right there with my sister. Anyway.
Can I be here?
So we got... Might as well swap the name tags now.
All right, hang on. I'm on it.
Wait, Adam, should we switch too?
No,
Yeah.
it's only Ashley and me.
Like this.
Anyway, so tonight we're going to be covering Ultimate Spider-Man. We're going to talk about Ultimate Spider-Man. If you've not read Ultimate Spider-Man number 5, spoilers ahoy. So just full disclosure. So, all right, let's talk about. Well, do we want to do grades first or grades last? How do we want to do this? Ultimate, not Ashley. Neil, what do you think?
Yes. Oh, okay. Now we're confused.
Yes.
Let's do the recap and then we'll.
All right. So Neil, do the recap.
All right.
I'll throw the cover up for those that have not seen it yet. I'll work on that.
Real quick, guys. If you haven't read Ultimate Spider-Man number 5, now is the time to go away and go read it. And then immediately come back so you can hear us keep talking. That's why you come listen to us yap, so you can hear us talk about comics. Okay. Warning over. Ultimate Spider-Man number 5, written by Jonathan Hickman, guest artist David Messina, and colors by Matthew Wilson. Several years ago, Norman Osborn is talking with his wife about how Norman Osborn's never been linked to anything in his life, but he was once and never again. So he yanks the phone from Emily to yap to Harry about how he's not being a real Osborn and that he needs to act like an Osborn, be a man. It hasn't happened yet. And Norman asks how much longer it's going to take for that to happen, and he gets fucking atomized. By the Stark Stain satellite.
Wait, does he get turned into a Slurpee? Sorry.
I'm not allowed to make those jokes.
I know.
It's
That's
Memorial
cool.
Day.
7 minutes. We lasted 7 minutes. Wait.
Javi can be mad at me later. It's fine.
Oh, hey, the time code just flashed. Radiac says, man, Norman died doing what he liked best, hating on Harry. True.
Yeah.
And also, what's good, gang? This is such an interesting issue. I'm all for supporting character. Yeah, I love character-focused issues. So anyways, a few weeks after Norman gets obliterated by an orbital laser, Harry and Gwen are meeting with their attorney, or with Norman's attorney, and basically going over the logistics. Oscorp's going to go to him. Because Harry's the only living heir, there's not really any obstacles in what would be going on. The attorney gives Harry a card that was delivered to his office that morning, and for him, and he has no idea what it means, but he does know who it's from. And the next day, Harry goes to a luxurious penthouse suite, flashes the card, has to go through the TSA security line, and eventually meets Bullseye and Wilson Fisk. Basically, Norman says, hey, so I'm the Maker's new big boy here in New York. I'm not a vain man, but I like to hear my name uttered once in a while as the Kingpin. And you can provide me a favor. Basically, I have Stark Stain hanging over my shadowing me, and I don't like that. So what I'm going to do is you're going to buy it from me. It's your problem now. Have fun. 2 weeks later, Harry, Gwen, and this universe's version of Otto Octavius do the Star Wars Vault entrance, and they see a bunch of Iron Man armors as well as a bunch of computers talking that basically give away the game of Maker's little experiment on the world, as well as all the stuff from Ultimate Invasion of who runs the world, all that stuff. Gwen basically says, okay, Otto needs to sign an NDA. And Harry's like, well, he already has an NDA. No, he needs a new one. Otherwise, he's not getting to play with all these toys. 4 months from the beginning of the series, I guess they've kind of taken all the advancements from the Iron Man armor and fit them into what is going to be called the Green Goblin. They go through all the technology explaining how this went on, or they go through all of the technology kind of exposit about how it works. And Otto gives Harry the helmet, which now in retrospect looks a lot more like Iron Man armor than I first realized. especially with the way Messina draws it. And basically he gets a little graph of, I think, is that New York? Okay, of New York. And then it's only a few blips. It's basically all of this proprietary Stark tech, which is sort of tied into how Harry accessed Peter's suit at the end of issue 3. The first one he has is from 2 days ago. The present has like more than 200 new blips on the map. And it cuts to 3 months ago. Hey, Javi, how you doing?
Oh man, I did.
Yay!
Javi!
Yeah,
What's
yeah,
up,
you're,
guys?
You're still here for the
Gals?
recap. Sorry.
Okay, to be fair,
Let me go
I can speed
reboot
it up.
again.
Oh, okay.
Start over.
Start over, buddy. Here, I'll do it in one sentence. Harry's origin story, the end. Anyways, it cuts to
Accurate.
Ultimate Spider-Man number 2, where Peter got beaten up by Shocker, and Green Goblin intercepts him and explains, like, "Hey, wait a minute, where did you get those gloves?
Hey,
I
Walter.
own those. Where did you get them?" And he explains that the person who was supposed to get them died from a heart attack, with the Iron Man hologram standing right over him, which is implied that Iron Man killed a guy with a heart attack by accident. So
Rip.
the Shocker stole them and became Sledge from Rainbow Siege.
Wait, say that again.
Say what?
Why do we think he had a heart attack and died?
Because it says he died.
It did.
Yeah, it says, "I was robbing this guy's apartment. Turns out he must have just died. Had a heart attack or something, just sitting in his favorite chair."
That Shocker, not the other Shocker.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Sorry. I apologize. Continue.
So Eskiner asks a good question that we'll kind of get to in our discussion. Shocker tries to fight his way out of the situation and goes, "No, wait, I've got a wife and she's sick." She basically does the Scuzoid thing from the Transformers universe of, "I got my wife and kids to feed."
the
and
thing he did in issue 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
he and Green Goblin knocks him out, and I guess just takes the gloves and runs. F in the chat for Shocker. 2 months ago, during issue 4, I think, or no, issue 3, Peter and Harry meet up for drinks. They swap origin stories, and they say, "Well, we need to do something about this." And now in Super Gitmo, Harry is interrogating Bullseye, he basically tore off all of the technology that was on Bullseye, and now he's stripped down to his tattoos. And Harry kind of talks about, "Oh, my father always talked about the difference between being a boy and a man. Am I a hero or something else? It's time to find out." To be continued in issue 6.
All right. So that is the recap.
Are those tattoos or is that his tech?
I think those are tattoos that were I think those are tattoos left from his tech, because they said that Bullseye has like
An embedded exoskeleton, and the patterns that we see are symmetrical.
Yeah. I would have to go back and check to see if they're in parallel with his tactical gear. But I did notice something interesting, that Bullseye is actually Captain Britain's asset. He's just on loan to Kingpin, and he and his little society, I guess, have a thing where if something happens to their master, which is Captain Britain, they tear theirs out in solidarity. And you know this because Captain Britain in Ultimate Universe number 1 got his eye blown out by Iron Man and has been wearing an eye patch since then. So that eye patch is just because Captain Britain lost his eye.
Oi, arr. Looking more piratey all the time. I'll see myself out.
Moving on.
Oh, bye. All right. We'll do grades and then we'll kind of do an open table discussion.
All right, hang on. Before you do grades, let me get to the right page. All right, grades.
We'll start with Josh. Ultimate Josh, what's your grade?
A-.
All right. Ultimate Adam, what's your grade?
I'll give it an A.
Ultimate Javi.
Hey. Hey.
All right, Escanor, real quick, Escanor did say that they don't line up with the armor unless it's from a detail shot that they don't know about. Ultimate Neil, what's your grade?
I'm gonna go with, I think, A-.
Okay. Ultimate Zach, or not so Ultimate Zach.
A- as well.
All right. I guess I'm going to close out. I'm going to give the highest grade of the night, A+.
A+.
Ooh.
Ooh,
Have you
Neil.
given
Look at
an A+
Ashley
before,
going
Neil?
against the grain.
Not for. I think he gave the first issue A+. Didn't he?
I thought he had caveats. What do you remember what you gave the first one, Neil? Or
No,
have you
I
ever
could-
gone that high?
That's what
I
she
could
said.
go
For an
back and
ultimate
add
book?
I don't think so.
No,
I might have
think he
given
gave
an
it an
A+
A.
for issue 1.
Yeah, I think he gave it an A and not an A+. I think this is the highest. If you guys remember in the chat, let us know in the chat.
Well,
Who is-
now I want to hear Neil's explanation why this issue was so perfect. Not that I'm disagreeing with him, but I'm curious why you rate it so highly.
So this one for me is sort of a victory, or not a victory lap, but sort of a here's how everything ties together. And I think that's where Hickman really shines as a writer, is when he gets to do like all these mystery boxes, and then
Cork board.
yeah, he's got his little murder board, and then kind of ties everything together. That's always been one of some of my favorite Hickman issues. House of X, his best issues were everything that ties everything together to move things on.
Yeah.
I kind of criticized David Messina last issue for having a couple of pages that looked kind of rushed to deadline. That's all gone. I don't think he's Chichetto. I think that trying to be Chichetto was a mistake, but I think that he does a really good job on the art here. I really enjoyed the very brief interactions between Harry and Norman. He says a lot with very little.
I mean, Tommy Lee Jones. Tommy Lee
Yeah,
Jones returns. He does. He looks like Tommy Lee Jones in that.
carrying on the Mike Deodato Jr. legacy of making Norman Osborn Tommy Lee Jones. I like that Harry, like his classic comic counterpart, doesn't really get that closure with his dad before he gets obliterated by a giant space laser. Zach made the joke, not me this time, so it's okay to rag on him. I like that.
Be mad at me, Javi. Be mad at me. You could be mad at me.
I didn't see it, so
Javi's
It
not
didn't
mad. He's
happen.
just
It didn't
disappointed.
happen.
Out of sight, out of
That's the
mind.
face of disappointment.
Wouldn't be the first time I've disappointed Javi. Usually it involves me trying to pronounce his last name and
I was
screwing it
going
up.
to say.
I'm not. I really liked kind of all the explanation of like Harry learning the truth. It ties into what I said last episode about Harry being kind of a person of grievance rather than a person of like moral obligation to change the world, and more just like, oh, they killed my dad, so I'm going to get them.
I don't think it's quite that shallow.
I guess
Like it's part of, trying to, at least my interpretation is that he's trying to figure out, how to be a man, and like to get his father's approval now that his father's gone. Not necessarily, you guys killed my dad, I'm going to get you. But I don't think that's, I'm not saying that's not an element of it, but I think there's more to it than just that.
To me, I read it as, oh, now I'm going to honor my father's legacy.
Well, I'm talking more broad strokes about what I've said about Harry in the past and
Oh,
on
that's
my
fair.
little essay.
That's
I liked kind of the role that Otto has as sort of his cue from James Bond, as sort of
It's
like,
Dr. Octavius.
okay.
That's not my words. That's what he tells Gwen.
But like, I like that he's like, okay, so here's what this does. I have no idea how it really works. I'm just kind of working backwards from what I found. But here, have a knockoff Iron Man armor, and I'll paint it green. I was going for brown, but it's going to be green.
Dum, 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 dum.
Yeah, what was up with that? Because they were trying for a certain color and they couldn't reach it because it looked too
He's-
brown.
Yeah, he said
I know you wanted it to be a darker shade, but it all started to look
Yeah.
brown. So like,
I
what
think
color
probably-
was Harry going for then?
I
I'm
would
thinking
still
like
say
a
dark green.
I'm thinking like a
Yeah.
forest green, like forest camo.
And it started
Yeah.
getting mucky.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jess, we got you. Thank you. But I like how Harry's kind of connecting the dots with all the stuff in issue 1, like the Picotech suit, and how all of this hardware is going to be Stark Tech, and how that's probably going to play into maybe even play into Ultimates, like how all this technology is Tony's, and how he's kind of shooting at the hip trying to make all these heroes with just random tech he's got that is approximates the stuff in 616.
Mm-hmm.
And
Question.
how that, yeah.
The suit being looking a shade of brown. What would you call Hobgoblin, like an orangey brown?
I call him rust orange.
And could this be like a hint that there's another suit out there that might get used later in the future as a Hobgoblin?
I wonder if that's a tease at
Harry
Otto getting
dies,
like,
then
at Otto getting like his brown trench coat, his Spider-Man 2 trench coat. Maybe, I don't know. Like I said, most of my praise towards this issue is the development of Harry as a character, because he's kind of just been there for the last few issues to move the plot on, but like seeing why he's doing this and how it relates to his unresolved relationship with Norman, and how it ties into the plot points for Ultimates as well as Ultimate Spider-Man, I think is really interesting. The only thing that I wasn't a fan of is that kind of Gwen is sort of passive in this book. Like, she kind of just goes along with what Harry's doing. I kind of liked the implication in issue 4 that she was the real brains behind the operation.
I still feel that way. Well, at least I did after the last one, because you had made a point last time, and the way that it seemed was she was the one that would be like the next. I thought she'd be a villain, honestly. Like, she feels like she's taking that arc, the way that she acts, and the way she's taking that initiative over him.
I kind of thought it was going to be Harry and Gwen who were creating all of the villains by accident. But I kind of like the idea more that Tony is the one who's kind of shooting at the hip, hoping to recreate all these heroes. And then like some random guy will just get a hold of the hardware because the one he wanted to make a hero just died. I think that's kind of I'm kind of glad Hickman threw me for a loop on that one, that like Shocker just got the gauntlets because originally the person who was supposed to get it and become a hero just had a heart attack and died. I think that's a good twist. Oh, that's true. Marcy, that I think Gwen is more of the bureaucrat. And
no, I thought No, go ahead. Sorry, dude. I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
I think that Gwen is sort of the not bureaucrat, because that sounds demeaning, but like someone who handles more of the business side of stuff, while Harry handles
it made me wonder if she, seeing all the stuff, goes, oh no, and she knows more about the Maker than even Harry and Norman.
Also, I gotta say, I like the way Messina draws the Ultimate Iron Man armor. I know last night on Spider Council, you guys were kind of was it this one you guys were dogging on, the Hitch costume?
It was. I think Paul was not a fan, if I'm remembering.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest. That's add that to the list of things that Paul and I disagree on. I really like this suit as like an alternate Iron Man armor, and I like the way Messina draws it here. Just that one in particular. I don't care about the MCU adjacent ones. I just really like that one. Give me that one.
I didn't think though that she was however you put it, like I don't feel like she's taking a back seat or has less agency or isn't as intelligent, because she that page that Marcy was talking about with the NDA, like she's pretty assertive in that. And
that's true. I think I'm thinking of this more from like, she doesn't do a lot this issue. She mostly just like roadblocks Otto and goes like, hang on, you need to sign an NDA before you get a hold of any of this stuff.
I mean, the last issue I feel like was her initiating a lot of stuff when she was talking to just
MJ,
like in the bathroom. It was like I can't think of like the word to honestly describe it, but I do feel like she's a lot more driven in that aspect of like, maybe it is just the business, but she's looking at places to put money and funding and all this other stuff. You know, I think she's like not just putting all her eggs in one basket. I think she's looking to build an empire.
Prep time. Gwen God status.
Oh, Grant Morrison writes Gwen Stacy. Can't wait.
Oh, Jesus.
Marcy suggests Hobgoblin Gwen.
I mean, they are bringing a Green Goblin Gwen thanks to the Spider-Verse stuff. So
Yeah, I don't care about that though.
Yeah.
And then Eskiner says that it's worth noting this issue. She's the one telling Otto to get to work. Harry may be the villain, but she's doing all the work to get there. And when I say that Gwen is, I mean more in like a narrative backseat. Like in issue 4, she was like a huge part of the plot of that issue. So seeing her in a more reduced capacity, I guess is the best way to put it, which is kind of weird.
But I mean, so is Peter in this issue. Like it's different stories. I mean, that was a relationship, a getting to know you between 4 people, and this is more of like Harry's perspective. So, like he's taking the lead. So Gwen and Peter are in the backseat for this narrative as supporting characters, and it's okay every now and then to have an issue like that.
That's true.
I also like the fact that we actually finally get the Peter and Harry original conversation here, because that was like, oh, that takes place in off panel, and now that we get it here, I'm like, okay, yeah, that I like that aspect. You know, I like the little subtle things. I like the green spider on the title page. Like that instantly gives you the whole. This is
someone new.
This is the episode of Ultimate Spider-Man, the TV show, where we're gonna reveal everything with Harry.
I was gonna say this would make a fantastic TV show. This series.
Oh yeah,
this would be a great HBO prestige miniseries.
It would,
and it makes
signature production.
It makes having the artist change for me, because I'm kind of picky about that, like more palatable.
Yeah, it makes sense.
These 2 issues, you know, it makes sense to not have Chichetto for these, or Chiquetto, and save him for the more Spidey centric issues, where this is more of the out of the costume and Harry stuff. Like it makes that part of the story feel more cohesive.
Totally agree.
And this also gives me hope that we'll get like an MJ centric issue where we see Peter's life before you know he becomes Spider-Man, and you know everybody be like, oh my god, it's MJ.
Issue 6 says in the solicits that MJ goes to war, and I'm assuming that's going to be like on Damage Control's behalf, just because they tease that in the 4th issue. But I get the sense that the 6th issue is going to be more about Peter and Harry try to fight Kingpin to get this shit slapped out of them, and then in issue 7 and 8 are them trying to regroup, while also Iron Man's here saying, hey Peter, join the Schizo Squad, dump your wife and join us.
Josh, you haven't talked a lot. What is your thoughts, man?
I mean, I enjoyed it. I like skinny, nerdy Doc Ock. He looks like he'd be the president of the chess club.
I know, he's adorable.
Was he one of your clients?
Was it?
Did you give him a free consult?
Oh my gosh. I did like that. It was from Harry's perspective. Obviously, I just wish there was a little more Spidey, but I think it was done a very well. Like it's like it's I can't remember who said it, but it is exactly like in a TV episode where they're like, you know, they finish off on a cliffhanger, and then the next episode is like, this is leading up to everything that this guy perceived life the last 5 months up until now. And I like that they did that.
Yeah,
sometimes I don't like that in a TV show, but it works pretty well in this comic book format.
I normally don't like that either, but I did like it here.
I think if you took like the first like 5 minutes before the title cards in like a Paramount Plus series and used that as like, here's what's been going on in someone else's perspective before we cut to the intro and then roll the credits and then, oh look, we're back in the present again. I think that would work.
Yeah,
because it's like what they did in was it Endgame? Whatever, when they show like what happened to Hawkeye when the snap ended.
Yeah, it was Endgame.
Yeah, Endgame. That was a good kind of like version of that. I got that's a movie, but
because we'd been gone for 3 years, or no, 2 years in real time. So it's like, oh hey, here's to remind you that everyone got the shit slapped out of him, and now Hawkeye's family's dead.
yeah.
Bless you.
I really like how Hickman uses like.
Did that come through?
sort
No.
of-
No, you're just very.
I'm very
theatrical.
dramatic.
You're expressive.
I'm very
Yeah.
But I like how Hickman kind of goes into like the mechanisms of like how things work. Like I said, I enjoyed Harry talking about the goblin armor and Otto explaining to him like what the bombs do, like how the Stark Stain vault, like how it has its own arc reactor that keeps it separate from the rest of the system. I think those little details are really cool, and I like how Hickman kind of breaks down the mechanisms of like how certain technologies work.
That name does not go together well.
I mean, I
Because
think
you said the Stark Stain, and I was thinking of something totally.
I'm willing to bet you, Javi, that when Hickman did that, he went in with like the express, like something is wrong with this because of that name. Like that's
Tony
your first,
Stank, Stark Stain.
Yeah, it's all connected.
that's your first clue that like in a 20-year time skip since Ultimate Invasion #1 to Ultimate Invasion #2, something's not right. Hey, look, Black Jeff Bridges is here for some reason. I mean, it's Ryan Hitch.
Oh, you know what else I liked? That they have, even though he's a bigger guy, he's a muscular, big Kingpin. Like they actually show that he's got like big muscle definition.
He's a big guy.
Yeah, they're not just like, oh,
For
he's
you.
fat or yeah.
Main joke. Got him. Crashing his plane.
Yeah.
With no survivors.
And Kingpin is also one of Josh's clients, so
Oh gosh.
Mhm.
make
Get that big
Josh
bro.
Got them
Yeah.
gains.
It's all a journey, man. It's all a journey, and we're all on our own little steps. And Kingpin's he's still on his journey. It's every day.
We haven't talked a lot about the Kingpin stuff, and I kind of wanted to emphasize. I wanted to kind of focus on that for a minute. I like how Harry is sort of like not necessarily modest in, like he's wearing a business suit and all that. He's sort of like a traditional businessman getup, and then Kingpin's just like relishing in his luxury, his decadence. I think that presents an interesting contrast in, I guess, on a visual level, their outlook on the world. And I think it kind of radicalizes Harry towards. It sort of radicalizes Harry towards High Naked Guy in Josh's apartment.
That's my roommate. He's wearing pants.
Okay.
Sure.
But I think that's a great visual for like Harry going like, oh, okay, I don't like where this is going. Please, oh, I'm buying Stark Stain. All right, sure.
How far into the solicits are we? Like,
Issue
there's not
8
like a crossover or anything coming up anytime soon, is there?
not like officially. Like issue 7 and 8 tease that Tony's going to show up in Ultimate Spider-Man and say like, "Hey Peter, time to join the Ultimates, chop chop."
Right.
Okay.
But I don't think there's like an official like trade dress crossover.
Do you think like issue 12, kind of like the end of a first year, there might be something?
I think at the end of year 2 there will be, because at the end of Ultimate Invasion, they say they have 2 years to hold everything together while the Maker is trapped in the city. So I think that, and because the books have been traveling in sync with the monthly release, like this last issue just took place in May, which is this month.
Right.
I think that there will be. I think that at the end of year 2, the city's gonna unlock and Maker's gonna stroll out with his giant head and go, "Okay, boys, what have I missed?" And then we'll get some kind of crossover. Oh,
Ooh.
bye, Javi.
I guess so.
Bye.
Oh no, what did you do, Zach?
I clicked the wrong button. My bad. Sorry.
I thought Neil was the button pusher.
Nope.
No.
I mean, I am sometimes.
Well, tonight Zach's been pushing his buttons.
Zach's lonely.
I knew he was going to go to the close.
Wah, wah.
No, I'm just a birthday boy. I'm just a little birthday boy.
No, that would be my kid yesterday. She was the birthday girl.
Oh, happy birthday to Gabby.
Yeah,
Thank you.
happy birthday to Gabby. Your Gabby and my Gabby both had birthdays this month.
Oh, happy birthday to that Gabby.
Yeah.
Wait, both of your kids are Gabby?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that like
part of their
planned or?
It's part of the blood pact.
No.
Yeah, they
No.
took it when they were 6. Like I promise.
No, my daughter's name was going to be Victoria Danielle. And the ex-wife
Gabby, sure.
vetoed that. She didn't want Victoria. So I was adamant on Danielle. And we were going through a baby book. And then I realized, like, I don't know, a year afterwards, that Ashley's daughter was named Gabby. And I was like, shit. But we spell it differently.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to ask a dumb question. I know it, and Shocker says that he got the gloves from somebody else, the gauntlets from Tony's little box. That raises the question of, was it Herman Schultz who died, or was it Herman Schultz who got the gauntlets?
I think it's Herman who got the gauntlets. I wonder if it's Montana that.
I was thinking it could be also.
That's some
Tinker.
Greg Weisman stuff right there.
Yeah. Because I'm thinking like, who would it be that like is there? Because I'm thinking like, is there a hero with Shocker gauntlets?
Most of the characters that I can think of that have gauntlets are like X-Men adjacent, like Surge. But one of my friends in a Discord server brought up that it could be like Cardiac, because I know he uses the staff, but
Oh yeah.
And he has a heart attack. Irony.
that might be what Hickman was going for. Now that I think
There you go.
about it.
He got the cardiacs.
Had a cardiac arrest.
Bobby.
Holy shit.
And a rough
Eskiner says
That was a comic binge reference from last. Was that on air or was that off air when we were talking about cardiac?
That might have
I
been.
think that was us
there.
chatting after the show.
That was
right?
after the show.
That's me doing my.
Sorry.
Hey guys, remember cardiac chat?
Yeah.
Eskiner says
That's
that they think it's Montana who got the gauntlets. It wasn't Herman.
No, it was not Hannah Montana. Walter.
Walter's my
Montana-
favorite.
Montana got the Shocker gauntlets in Spectacular Spider-Man.
He got the best of both worlds.
Who is the guy that died in Homecoming?
Montana was the one
No.
that died when Vulture killed him with the alien
That was
gun.
supposed to be Montana.
Yeah,
I think they used his. I think they used his actual name,
Oh,
like Jackson something.
Yeah.
it's
Oh,
one of
and
my
also-
least watched Spider-Man movies, so I didn't remember who he was.
Yeah,
that's kind of brings another good.
Herman's
sorry.
the one that ended up with the
Right.
gauntlets.
Right, he
And
was the
he
second
actually-
Shocker.
They actually had shot a more comic accurate costume too, with the mask and everything, but then they, I guess, deleted it in reshoots.
They did that with Spider-Man too, so that doesn't shock me.
Thanks,
But Eskiner did bring up a good point that Tony did give Peter a suit with web shooters built in, so this might be like we know that Maker took away powers that needed circumstance to happen, so this might be like a replacement or approximation of the powers to like do a Captain Marvel or a Havoc to release energy beams and stuff.
I mean, Radiac does bring up a good point. There's no way for Tony to know who's a hero or who's a villain. The 200 something lights is too many to be heroes in his opinion.
That's true, because
It could be, hey, I'm going to just reset the entire universe and
Anyone
all-
that's supposed to have powers will get powers now.
all Tony has is like the spreadsheet of who is supposed to have powers, not necessarily whether they're using them for good or not. Because he has like his little cabal of people who have powers, and I guess it's sort of like the Earth 3 characters where they have like little structured gangs who all have powers. But
Is this 616-1 or 6160?
6160.
Okay.
But like I said
Eddie
earlier,
loves this book.
Tony's kind of shooting from the hip, just giving people powers, and it's like, oh, some of them just don't work out.
But is he though? Because he knew that Peter Parker got bitten by the radioactive spider, so I feel like he knows a little bit more so than we think that he does. Like he might just only have like tech capabilities, like, you know, based on his like Iron Man suit for certain things, and that's why he's like giving out some of the parts that he is, because, you know, he's not entirely sure. But he did know that Peter was to be bitten by that radioactive spider, so maybe there are other characters on this list that, you know, he does know how they became a superhero.
I mean,
That's
Cap was thawed in the ice. They wouldn't
Ant-Man and Wasp are free. I think it's more of like he's just kind of hoping that you're correct, actually, that Tony did know like who he was, going off of the spreadsheet. But I do think there's a certain degree of like Tony hoping
the
that
maker likes Excel a lot.
It's like a whole list. This date, you know, was this.
Listen, he loves his Adobe Illustrator charts. just let him have it.
Listen, we can all appreciate that, okay? All right, Ashley. All right.
But I do think there's a certain.
Ashley's got less attitude than she normally has with the Ultimate version.
I do think there is, while you're correct, a certain lens. There is a certain degree of like, okay, I'm hoping this will work out, and I hope they'll get the powers and use them the way I need them to.
Or decide to, because he did also give that option. Like, do you want this? You don't have to take it, but this is what you're meant to do.
Because in the pages that were released for Ultimates, we see that like Hawkeye gave up. Like he did a Spider-Man No More and tossed his bow and arrow in the trash. Captain Marvel, I think, just blew up, and
kind of like Norman did this issue.
Well, this way it was an implosion, not an explosion. So I do think there's a degree of like kind of
probably less painful than getting stabbed in the chest. I mean, to be fair.
But you are correct that it's probably not just like shooting from the hip at all, but it's more of like tossing them out and going, okay, here, you guys get your stuff. I'll see you in 6 months. Bye.
Is there a universe where Harry isn't like always put upon?
No,
where he just has like the worst luck out of everything. Like that was.
I mean, people were saying that earlier. What was it? Marcy said, so his dad getting an Independence Day gives him more or less daddy issues.
Wow. I mean,
I laughed at that earlier. Like, sometimes reading the chat and seeing what's going on in there, that was
insane.
Hilarious.
So I give it an S for so long, Norman. Nice knowing you.
Bye.
Bye, Tom.
That was
Bye,
one of
Tommy
Evelyn's big takeaways of seeing Spider-Man 3 and Amazing Spider-Man 2 this last month was just how awful Harry's life is, and like
why is everyone so mean to him?
Yeah.
Maybe he's going to be a good guy here. We don't know. I want to hold out hope that maybe he is.
It would be really funny if like this was meant to be like Iron Man's powers and then Shocker stole them.
I mean, it did look like that by the hand, so I wasn't entirely sure.
Was there... Hang on, let me go to the...
Those are the ones he made in the cave with a box of scraps? No?
I do like that there's...
Chuckle? Damn!
I'm doing research for you, so just give me a sec. I think it's obscure enough that like we're not really supposed to know until later whether or not Ultimates or Ultimate Spider-Man covers it. I think is going to be for later, if we ever get it addressed at all.
Gary and the Frozen also noticed that it was Tommy Lee Jones, which Jess Punk said, carrying on the tradition from the original Ultimate Universe, casting real life actors as characters.
Oh God, does that mean when the MCU gets rebooted that Tommy Lee Jones is going to be the captain from Captain America 1 and Norman Osborn? Holy!
Is that a Mark Miller thing?
No, that was just a Marvel.
Brian Hitch.
No. But Miller wrote it, right?
Yeah.
And if you read Wanted, that's Tommy Lee Jones, Halle Berry, and Eminem.
That was really funny.
Morgan Fox.
Megan.
Megan Fox.
Morgan Freeman looks so much like Tommy
We
Lee
were
Jones.
all off. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Damn, Javi.
Yeah.
I was like, wait.
Like Morgan Fox. Yeah.
I got
That would be a hell
no
of a
hair.
mashup.
Professor X looks, so much like Eminem.
Yeah, if Harrison Ford can be Red Hulk, Tommy Lee Jones can be Norman.
According to rumors that are unsubstantiated on the internet, they cast a voice actor for Norman in the Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, and he's going to play Norman in the next Spider-Man.
Giancarlo Esposito.
Yeah.
He plays everybody. No, yeah, Eskin is right that we don't have confirmation that Harry killed Shocker. So,
I mean,
Didn't look like he killed him. He just like
kind of beat the crap out of him and took the gauntlets.
Yeah.
he just made him defecate himself and left the money hanging.
But
Yeah, because why
he
would
did.
he kill him and then leave the money on him? Right? Didn't he drop money or am I getting
yeah,
like
like the money
the
goes
money, the
flying.
money's
Yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah, the money's everywhere, so now he's going to be like, "Oh no, my money!"
yeah.
My
gonna
big
be-
score.
Tommy Lee Jones and Batman Forever, going after all his coins.
Oh, my big score. He does the Sandman thing from Spec.
I thought that would have gotten a chuckle out of Javi, considering I made a Batman reference, but no, I did not.
I tried, buddy.
I'm just failing.
I'm still stunned by the fact that McFarlane announced today that Batman Forever wave, where you get like the sonar suit Batman, Robin, Two-Face, Riddler, and you buy all four, you make the giant bat
but
hallucination
Do they have bat
from
nipples
the
on there?
deleted scenes.
No, that's
What's that?
Batman. That's Batman and Robin, Josh.
That's already out.
Did we
There
not
were
get a...
nipples. There were nipples on the Forever
There's-
suits.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Not on the
Second Forever suit.
but
Is
the
Yeah,
Panther.
not on that one. Yeah, the Panther
there-
one, yes, and the
is there-
Robin one, I think, right?
Is there at least a Seal action figure?
No, sorry, bud.
But don't you know that when it snows? Sorry.
Oh, Zach.
Now we're gonna have background music in my brain again for the
I
rest
got
of this.
Thunderstruck. I got Thunderstruck playing while we're recording this. So
There you go.
Radiac says that he's intrigued to see what Hickman does with the two teases at the end. That being a hero comes at a cost, and playing on Harry's characterization as a tragic villain. That he may become something totally different.
I mean, I can call it like Gwen dies and Harry loses it, and Harry dies, and then we get a hobgoblin of some sort.
I think what's going to happen, I kind of predicted this back when I wrote my essay, was that Harry and Peter's sort of understanding of their obligations and how that differs between the two of them will kind of lead them to kind of have a little schism. And then, someone dying, and Adam's probably right that it's going to be Gwen, just because, off the bridge you go, Blondie.
I don't know. I feel like we're different enough that anything is on the table. Like, I don't necessarily feel that Harry's going to be the villain or die necessarily, or that Gwen's fate is to be thrown off the bridge. I feel like we're different enough that we're not trying to just redo what's been done in every other multiverse. And even Gwen dying in the original Ultimate Universe, like, it didn't last all that long.
That's
before
like
she
20
was
issues, right?
I mean,
resurrected as Carnage.
we all forget that he was dating Carnage afterwards. So
Yeah.
I do feel like I said before, the goal of defeating the Maker and everything is to, I maybe erroneously said to fix the universe, but what I was trying to say by that was like to course correct the universe to become more balanced. There's more of an equilibrium of like how things were maybe supposed to be before the Maker did his shenanigans. So I'm thinking of it in terms of that, and I'm also thinking of it in terms of, this people say like, oh, can this replace 616? It absolutely cannot replace 616 unless they were to do something like that, where again the goal is to find a sort of equilibrium to make this universe a bit more similar to the 616.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the because I think most people are saying fix going off of the branding phrase for Ultimates of like 18 months to fix the world.
Yeah.
And I think that that's more of a shorthand for topple the maker and Fuck Marcy. What if Harry cheats on Gwen with Otto and Gwen throws Harry off the bridge?
Damn.
What?
That would be
a twist. Holy
People,
shit.
Yeah.
people have said he kind of looks like Peter, Ditko Peter, a little bit. In
Yeah,
this,
he does
so-
look like a school shooter. You're right.
What the hell, Neil?
I do not
even-
take
Oh, God.
any ownership of any of that while my name is on
the,
there.
The comments of Neil Bogenrider do not reflect the overall comments and beliefs of the Spideydude Radio Network.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Neil, can you bring up Jackson Jekyll from Monster High? That's what Otto looks like.
From Monster High.
Wait a second, how do you know that?
I
I
have a
actually have the
sis-
doll.
I have a sister.
I was gonna say, I'll go grab the doll. Like
I
let
knew
me
he
just
looked
go run
familiar.
outta
This
here.
is why.
Someone
He's been racking his brain all night, and he finally just was like, "Oh, pull it up, there, Jamie."
Someone brought up that he looks like Elliot Tollivar, the body he used in Gage's Superior run, and you're not wrong, but that one had more of a I am the Chad and you are the Soy Jack meme comparison. Okay.
Right.
Josh, I hate you're right.
Yeah, right?
Mhm.
Hang on.
All right,
I'm
pull it
pulling-
up.
Pulling it up. Just give me a sec.
Hurry
Not
up.
Jamie.
Come on, Jamie. Let's get this done.
There we go. Fine. There.
Oh, shit.
He's adorable. Shh.
That's him. That's the
Those
guy.
frosted tips, man. Those take me back to.
This is Freddie Prinze Jr. from
Back when you had
Scooby-Doo
hair?
vibes.
Back when you had hair.
Jeez.
Oh, he's mad. He's big mad. He's leaving.
Come on, Zach. We're waiting for the close up where you're pouting again. We know it's coming.
Here, I'll do it for him.
Just pull that band-aid off. Put that in my pocket for later.
I'm just gonna click what is it? Control Shift F11. That's the screenshot, baby.
I say that with every bit of love possible that I can muster in my hand, cramping into this particular pose.
I just want to point out, Radiac, that I was a little over the top with that one, but it definitely gives
Yeah.
like the actually vibes.
Excuse
The
The haircut. The haircut doesn't help. Which Peter's hair wasn't quite that high and tight back then.
You know, would be.
Why does he? Ugh.
I love Jackson Jekyll.
What is? Okay,
Because
why
you
does he
have
go
to see
from
him
like?
as Hyde though? Because
Why is he-
Hyde's
why-
super cool.
Why does he go from the Chad to this isn't just a phase, mom?
I'm
to,
sure we. Oh, sure we.
Because it depends. Because they did movies and stuff.
What?
So
Oh, I thought he was going. I thought he was
he
listening
was
to
he was
his.
he was transforming.
Yeah.
Okay.
Transformers, monsters in disguise.
Damn, man. You're batting zero, but I appreciate the effort.
Zilch.
And yep.
Just stick that up every single time. A swing and a miss.
You know what? I'm really okay. I gotta be honest. I'm really glad on the screen sharing that nothing not safe for work came up in that search results.
Yeah, I'm glad too that the Rule 34 didn't apply.
I should probably put what?
How about that coloring of that onomatopoeia on that page?
I liked that.
Wham.
I love the silhouettes pressed. I don't think they form the no, I was gonna say if they formed the A and the space of the A, or the little negative space in the A,
Oh
the
yeah.
triangle, and like the top of the M, that would have been peak, but it didn't, and that's a little disappointing. But it still looks really cool with the silhouettes. I don't think it conveys the motion of was like Harry goes, was that supposed to hurt? But sorry, Zach. Anyways, I kind of wish the art conveyed a bit more of like that impact, because like it's supposed to be like a huge impact, but it doesn't really feel like it conveys that. Now that I look at it.
Yeah.
Damn, Josh.
Why is this now becoming pick on Zach night? What the hell? Only taking 86 episodes. It's fine. I was gonna make a Wham joke, like George Michael.
Please don't.
So I'm not
That's
sure
where they earned the exclamation point.
You know what? Round of applause for Javi.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So was this is a dumb question. Was Norman's line to Emily about being late once and never again, was that supposed to be like in reference to him falling in love with Emily, or like is that in reference to anything specific from like before the timeline split from 616, or if I was late to make a deal with Mephisto and sell my son's soul.
You know what?
We're going to talk about that.
All right, so the reference.
I did understand that reference. Oh man. I just thought that the layouts, I mean, obviously we saw the giant explosion with Harry, and that's now become a great React meme now. But
I'm the only one who uses it.
I know, but it's a great React meme.
Okay, I'll take it.
So, but like I just like the silence, you know.
What's going on in the chat? Jesus Christ, I'm not going.
He's getting critiqued on his head placement. Is what's going on in the chat.
What's wrong with Zach's head?
Anyways,
I'm about to just
no
go
more super
away.
chats for you.
No more derailing the show. But yeah, I thought this was extremely well done. I think it fills in a lot of the gaps that we're kind of missing. It does a really good job of being a meanwhile issue. I liked this the way we're now finally getting the connection between Kingpin and Harry, and seeing Kingpin being more Machiavellian. The only thing I wish would have been more is maybe a little bit more of Brokeback Bugle, but you know, honestly, I just think it's such a really well crafted issue. I think the time skips and the time jumps and everything are really good. Like I said earlier about the conversation between Peter and the dichotomy between what Harry believes and what Peter's believing, and how their worldviews are going to inevitably get them on a collision course. And yeah, I like the little thing. I would have not picked up on the whole eye patch thing. But again, this is why I like having Neil attached to the episode, because he can bring in things that I hadn't thought of, even though I read Ultimate Universe 1. I have not read the 4-issue miniseries though. So
Jess Puck also brought it up in the chat earlier. So
I think this is I agree with you, Neil, about the artwork as well. I think the artwork is exceptional. Definitely didn't feel rushed this time like it did in certain panels. And I'm really excited for Trujillo to come back next month and be back for the next few months. So that's always a win for me, in my opinion. And I guess next month we'll get Ultimates #1.
real quick, I wanted to bring up something that Javi had kind of talked about in our group chat before the show started. Javi, you had mentioned that compared to DC, Marvel books have raised in price. Ultimate Spider-Man is now $4.99 per issue,
And that's the regular.
And the page count has.
I got
increased.
a variant.
Yeah, and the page count hasn't increased, while Batman has the same price point, but also has like another 8 pages or so of story.
Yeah. Spidey was 22 pages and Batman was 30, which is 22 pages for the main and then another 8 for a backup. But the backup is like a subplot of the main story.
So my question to you is this: do you think that raised price point will turn people off from reading the book? Like if people are thinking like, oh, I came here for Spider-Man and his family shenanigans, not oh, here's Harry Osborn figuring out how to tear down the world establishment. Do you think that price point is going to further incentivize people to drop the book?
Yeah,
relative to
because I hold this is the only Marvel book that I'm really buying right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I held them both in my hand as I got into the car. I'm like, what is going on? And I felt the difference in heft. And then I got home and texted you guys. And I counted not the pages, but the pages that had art and story on them.
Yeah.
Not counting the recap stuff.
Yeah, because they're technically, I think it's like 25 pages. Ultimate is, but those 3 extra pages are the recap thing and like the next issue
and the credits.
The letters-esque page
that doesn't have letters yet.
Yeah,
hopefully. Which I'm surprised is it doesn't have letters. Like,
I mean, they're asking for letters, but I mean, it's issue 5, and they don't.
I think they're waiting for
tons
I think they're waiting for 6.
I think they're waiting for Trujillo to be back because obviously there's going to be a lot of praise for Trujillo in those.
Marcy said that people today have terrible attention spans. If what they want doesn't happen in the issue, it's a waste of them. And I kind of made this point back when the book was first launching, and I said, I think I've even said on this show, don't expect this to be just like Spider-Man family shenanigans.
It's not Renew Your Vows 3.0.
Hickman plays in the bigger sand pit, for lack of a better term. He plays in those Machiavellian fields of intrigue and action, and the family stuff will be a side plot. And on a certain Discord server, people are going like, "Yeah, I wanted more Spider-Man family shenanigans." And that's not saying like they got lied to, but it's like
that's on marketing too. The way they marketed it with that Stegman cover reveal of the family, but this is tying into the larger world, and I think everybody needs to understand that. I do like the fact that this cover feels like an actual like the cover that it's supposed to feel like. You know what I mean? Like this actually reflects what goes on in the issue because obviously it's a big.
Where's Ben?
There's no Ben though.
Well, I mean, there's no Spider-Man in that suit either, but it's mostly.
It looks like he's standing on Cloak.
Yeah.
That's like,
hey man, just borrowing your head for a minute.
Spider-Man meet.
It's a Dementor. That's what that looks like.
Holy Mary.
I mean,
Mother
there's the
Christ.
grave. Yeah, the grave and the Dementor. No, does that mean something's gonna happen to Uncle Ben?
No.
Oh no.
Like I said,
don't do that to me.
Unfortunately, I think Zach, you're right that Marvel's marketing, while I think they did a good job with the initial, like, hey guys, look, Peter's married again, go buy the book. They kind of set readers' expectations. It was going to be like a slice of life story in the Ultimate Universe, rather than saying up front, hey, this is going to be a book that ties into the Maker plot line.
I don't know though. I think people are smarter than.
No, they're not.
No, I think this wasn't just gonna be like, oh, wacky family shenanigans. Come on.
I think after the first like 2 or 3 issues, I think everybody should expect it by now. By like this point, you should understand.
I mean, after the first issue, like it was clear there weren't going to be any wacky shenanigans. Like, and there have been wacky shenanigans with the daughter helping design the costume, but that's all character development.
Not necessarily shenanigans. I feel like shenanigans is a bad word, but like people were expecting kind of like more slice of life stories and not like the Machiavellian adventures of Harry and Peter taking down the establishment.
But the question remains whether it's wacky family adventures or Machiavellian world building. As good as this book is it a $5 book for 22 pages?
Right. I mean, that is no, but that's a legitimate criticism, and I think that Marvel. I mean, because I think ASM is the same price point now. These are not $5. I mean, they're gonna sit there and use inflation as the excuse, but it shouldn't be an excuse. I don't know why the costs would be going up from Marvel's side if DC is using the same distributors.
Aren't they not? I thought DC was using Luna.
I think they're using
Penguin.
They're using both. Marvel's using Penguin, and DC's using both Lunar and Penguin.
Because you can go on Penguin and get you can pre-order all the upcoming DC hardcovers and trades and everything.
I think Penguin is their paperback distributor and Luna is their singles. Javi Radiac asks you, "Por qué no las dos?" I probably butchered that. My Spanish is awful.
Not both. What? I lost the plot on that one.
I my Spanish is awful. It's on the
why can't they have both stories, or why? I'm not sure what we're talking about.
I think he is asking, like, why can't you have the Machiavellian world building and the slice of life family stuff?
Oh no, you can.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying, can you sustain that for $5 a month at this page count? Like, it's a great book, and it's, I mean, that's the reason why I'm buying it. But like I said, getting into the car today, I was like, man, I just dropped $10 on 2 comics.
Yeah.
And
no, I get that. It's no longer an impulse buy, and that's increasingly annoying.
That kind of hurts, because like I'm not buying any other Marvel stuff at that price point, because it's not worth it to me. So far, this is the only title that is. Well, I mean, Shadow of the Goblin. I don't remember what that's cost.
It's costing $3.99.
Is it $3.99?
Let me look. I think it's $5.
But that's one of those books though where it's JMD and like.
Yeah,
I'd rather have it on my shelf.
I think Shadow of the Goblin is $4.99.
The first issue is $4.99. The second issue is $3.99.
Okay, because the first one did feel longer, so maybe it had more pages.
Yeah, it was like 32 pages, I think, compared to 22.
But as people feel like they've got to tighten up their wallets a little bit, and they keep pumping out all these different books, it's like there's just not. It's that question we always have is like, how do you make this sustainable and grab new readers? And when your book is this good, but you're getting a 40-year long fan like me, like, I don't know how much I'm going to keep up with this anymore. That's a problem.
It is a problem. I'll agree. Just to clarify, because we were confused, I did look it up. DC Comics has multiple distribution partners. Lunar and Universal are the comic distributors, and then Penguin Random House is doing the distributions to bookstores as well as graphic novels and collected editions.
I'm smart.
Is that what's happening in July? Are they keeping those partners in July? Do you know?
I think so.
Because July is when they go back to normal and start releasing on Wednesdays again.
Let's look.
I think it might be. I think a good book to look at to kind of put a finger on the pulse of Ultimate Spider-Man is going to be Transformers, because that's a book that's also getting like really good reviews, selling out like multiple prints per issue, and it's at $3.99. So I think.
How many copies is that though? Because that's a smaller publisher, so they may not be printing as many as Marvel is for Ultimate Spider-Man.
But like at some points, it's outselling Ultimate. That's kind of why I'm saying it, because it's selling comparably to Ultimate Spider-Man.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay, so there's distribution systems are staying the same, but it's because of the retailers and readers. Yeah. Because they were getting all their other books on Wednesdays.
I go to 2 different retailers, and no one puts their DC books out Tuesday. You can only get them digitally where I live on Tuesday.
I think it was depending on the store, because I know one store was putting it out on Tuesdays, and then the other store was, like you were saying, Javi, doing it on Wednesdays.
I mean, it's why arrange your shelf for one day, and then you've got to move it around again to add the rest of the market.
It makes no sense.
I don't think they gained anything from that move.
I don't think they I don't think DC understood.
Comics publishing being needlessly convoluted. Holy shit! It must be a day ending in Y.
But yeah. So and then for Marvel, you see who distributes Marvel because I think Marvel has now multiple.
I think Penguin does everything because I know they publish single issues as well as paperbacks, but I'm not sure.
Yes.
If they
So it's now all Penguin House. Diamond acts as a wholesaler rather than a distributor for Marvel, so they can order through Diamond.
Yeah. And honestly, I wasn't sure when this book launched that how long I was going to stay with it. And it might be that I might just finish out this arc and then go to trades if I'm loving it that much.
That makes sense because that's a strategy I've kind of employed with DC because DC used to do the redeemable digital copies
Right. Yeah.
And then when they stopped doing that,
They
I
had those
shifted over
weird
exclusively to
variants.
trades.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think the which I'll be sad though because but we'll
cross that bridge when we get there.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. Exactly.
We'll cross that George Washington Bridge when we get there.
When Stacey unfortunately not.
There you go.
Or Mary Jane if we're following issue 25 of Original Ultimate.
Paddling through.
Maybe it's Mary Jane.
Or Sam Raimi's Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Or maybe Harry gets tossed off the bridge.
Somebody will snap, crackle, and pop. It's fine.
I originally I thought it was going to be the son. I thought it was going to be Richard.
I got a grin out of Javi, so that's at least like I'm batting like 100 right now instead of
Originally my thought was to raise the stakes. It's I was going child murder, and then I realized oh wait they're not going to do that. And so now that someone's pointed out like all the other people to go off the bridge.
To your credit, Neil, this is the company that killed Ms. Marvel
and then brought her back a month later.
No, but the timing of when they killed her.
Oh, it was Asian American Pacific Islander month.
Yeah, so let's not. I don't think you need to give them that much credit.
Nick Lowe does not care about what month it is. Okay.
Yeah.
He just sees the deadline and he's like, okay, we need to get this issue out now.
The deadline.
we got the decree from King Kevin, and we've got X amount of time.
I guess you could say his name is Nick Deadline Lowe.
Oh my god.
Oh, I thought you left.
No, I kicked you out.
Oh, okay.
What's tripping me out is the private chat has Ashley's name for you, and why is Ashley asking these questions?
I'm tricking you.
I'm reading it like, whoa, Neil. I was like, oh no, that's not Neil. That Ashley said that.
Man, I've turned into a tomato like 3 times tonight.
Yeah. But Walter appreciates it because it cuts down on the forehead glare.
Listen, I turned down the light because of that, because he literally said I could cosplay as the bat signal.
Listen, Zach. Zach, when August comes and it's time for you to shave your head and become the Green Goblin, what we'll do is, in order to prep you, I'll drive down to where you live and I'll bring my rotary buff so we can make your dome shine like gold.
Gotta go. I don't want to snort.
Just mute yourself. Here.
I'm gonna die.
Yo, Marcy's knows where it's at. Throw them all off the bridge. Even Peter, the book's just Ben and Jonah doing journalism.
Broke back.
I'd buy that book.
Oh, hang on, Ash. What'd you say?
I said I would too. I would buy that too.
I was trying to mute you so you could snort.
I know. I was I clicked it on mine, but I saw this panic that it's not going to be muted.
Oh, Venkman. Well, no, Venkman. He doesn't need to shave his beard to cosplay as Professor X because he has the beard in Rise of the Powers of X right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I can just get my suit on and find me a wheelchair.
Doesn't even have the wheelchair. He just walks around now.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Yeah, he hasn't walked since like 2003 or something.
He went
Or
that
he,
long.
or he hasn't been in a wheelchair since like 2003.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh wait, so
Oh.
he's been out of the chair since 2003.
he's been out of the wheelchair since like Joss Whedon's run on Astonishing.
No,
God,
I thought
It's been
no
20
more
years.
after Whedon. I
What?
could have swore he was in the chair in Whedon or in Morrison stuff.
Yeah, I think he was out of the chair by the time Whedon's run.
Yeah, Whedon was after
Started.
Morrison.
No, Whedon was
Because
before
Emma and Cyclops were dating, and
Wasn't it?
Team and Wolverine had to do costume after the jacket.
Hmm.
But when he left the X-Men after the Danger thing, he was out of the wheelchair. He might have gone back on. Oh, he just says that the last time he was in a chair was Dark Reign. But when Cyclops killed him in X-Men Avengers vs. X-Men, he was out of the chair. And then afterwards, he inhabited Phantom X's body in Brisen's Astonishing X-Men.
And this is why I haven't read X-Men since Morrison left.
Well, Krakoa's just as convoluted now by the time we're at the end, so
Yeah.
I'll just send Zach and
And
Jake.
why
before they
X-Men
get sent.
97
New
is
X-Men,
so
New
good.
X-Men was 2001. Whedon was 2004 to 2008. So
Dang. I thought Morrison went longer than that.
No, I mean, how long did he go? It's like
I thought he did like 3
So
hardcover
it-
volumes.
he did
okay,
he did like
May
an omnibus.
2001 through March 2004.
Why are we talking about this?
44
I
issues.
don't know.
Oh, because
And
Professor X was walking.
Walter
That's
brought up
what-
Professor X. Yeah.
It all comes back to X-Men.
Anyways,
That's you're not wrong. Like I said, every time we do this, it comes back to the X-Men. Jesus, don't you love the X-Men? Always easy to follow. Well, I mean, if you're looking for a Krakoa show, Zach and I do a podcast where we're talking about every X-Men book during that era.
I feel you, Radiac. I feel you.
Get
Sure,
that off the
check-
screen.
Be sure to check that out over at patreon.com/Spideydude Network. All right. I mean, we've kind of talked all about this.
There's not really any cons to go over, so at least not
Yeah,
for me.
Ashley, you got any cons? Or Ultimate Neil, you got any cons?
No.
Ultimate
Wait, I lied. And it's not really a con, but it's something that kind of threw me off when I was like reading through this book. The part where Harry is with who was that? Bullseye? No.
Oh, Bullseye.
There's like one panel where I couldn't tell because it looks so similar to each other, like the way that they have like their art style, that I didn't know who was talking for a second because of the way the side profile and stuff is, and I didn't really like that. That's probably the only thing that I really disliked about this, but that's a thing that I didn't really care. You
yeah,
know what I'm saying? It's like on the left, down a couple, but he's
Yeah.
talking and you can't tell if it's Bullseye or if it's Harry for a second.
Yeah. Until you look at the next panel, and then
Yeah, then it makes sense. But
yeah. So if you're reading it in guided view,
mhm.
you know,
Which page? Which
it's the page with
where he's in the black site.
yeah, where he's at the
Yeah.
black site.
That's the only thing that I really disliked, I think, was that one panel of art. And that's so particular, but
That's
everything else is great.
a nerdy nitpick, which
It is a nerdy.
Oh, is it the page that says now and then it cuts to just the mask?
No. It's the one
No.
where it's the one after that page where Bullseye's sitting in the chair,
Uh-huh.
and we got it's the 7 panel grid,
Mhm.
Okay.
which is the very next page.
All right.
So
That's my only nitpick. Truly.
Josh,
There's one panel where it's they're all the camera angle is just shot up everyone's nose, which I thought was a little weird, but
Yeah, he does that a lot in this issue.
But apart from that, no, not really.
Adam, any cons?
Not really. My only con is that like I feel like before every issue I'm like I guess I feel like the series is too good to be true or something, and I'm like, I get like unhyped for it, but then I read it and I get hyped again.
It's like you're waiting for that shoe to drop and it's not dropping, and you're like, yes, I'm so excited for this.
Yeah, it's like, damn, I can't wait. I can't wait for the next issue.
It's like the get hyped mix on How I Met Your Mother, where you just keep getting more and more hyped.
Yeah.
And then we meet the mom, and it's awful, and it wasn't great. Is that it?
I love the mom. I hated the ending. I hated that we killed the mom. Spoilers.
That's what I mean. Like, I just that whole end part.
I literally saved me from watching the show.
I literally just watched the alternate ending, and that's my ending. That's my headcanon. Javi, any con? You don't.
I do want to say real quick that I am excited for more Spidey action soon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You're probably going to be getting some real quick, Adam.
Yes. Well, yeah, I know. The next issue I think is going to be really fun.
I feel like
I saw that's kind of I saw a sort of like I guess a con about the issue was like, yeah, I like the talking and stuff, but where's the Spidey? And it's like. And so I kind of went into this issue with that, but I still like this issue a lot. It's like, okay, well, we're going to get Spidey action next time, so all good.
Yeah, the only con is that it's so good. I wish I could spend more time with these characters and learning about them, and that's not practical given, schedules and production and life.
Yeah.
So I got to be like it's 1985 and wait once a month for a comic to come out. As opposed to the endless cycle that we've gotten used to over the years.
It's a good way to break the habit.
Right? And Neil, what is with that sock rack?
What? That one right there?
I don't know. That's Walter's question.
I was
those are quilts.
Yeah.
Oh.
I was like, mine are hockey pucks. I was confused. Yeah. I'm like, what's in my background?
Yeah, Walter, if you didn't know, Walter, Neil cosplays as Crazy Quilt when he's not working Zach.
I'm the shocker.
Experience.
I'm the shocker. I go, I broke Zach.
Crazy Quilt.
He doesn't like to talk about it on this channel because this is more of a Marvel thing and not a DC thing. So that's why he doesn't bring it up.
Holy I think Zach turned into a tomato again.
He is a tomato.
Yeah.
Fire truck Zach.
Tomato, tomato, tomato.
So Ashley was throwing those tomatoes at me before we started.
Beetlejuice or
tomato juice.
All right.
I've laughed.
I don't think we have anything else to say, do we?
Clearly not.
I have one more thing to say, and it's I just want to see more with what MJ has been doing while all of these issues are going on, and since you guys had said and it could just be even something simple as like her day-to-day, because she's not, if she's not present in that moment, they're not showing her. So what is she doing outside of this? I would like to know.
Sure. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah. So apparently, I almost turned into Mephisto. Let's see. Walter thinks he's the executive producer of the show now because he's throwing super chats. Apparently, we need to do a musical number every episode, and me and Neil have to start dancing. If you know, since Captain British Empire hacked into the satellite. But everyone else isn't out of the question. Waylon, Walter asked what Waylon's grade for the issue is, and it's R for rough. Thank you for the super sticker. I'm continuing to bat 0 and crickets.
Sorry,
That checks out.
It definitely does.
Somehow lesson. Oh, sorry.
Cantor says, "Wait, what if Norman was late for Harry's birth because he was in a meeting with Reed?"
Possible.
With the Maker or Ultimate Reed?
Both.
Wait, they're both Ultimate Reed. Doom Reed.
Yeah. Petty. The result of petty ass shit. Reed.
Messy bitch alert. Reed
Somehow
Richards.
this was less insane than last episode, and that's because freaking Walter's not like dropping major bombs; he's dropping smaller bombs. So,
I thought Marcy was talking about like the last
Ultimate.
Ultimate episode.
Mhm.
Which was me getting off a plane and proceeding to flub the recap, and then Javi had to save my ass.
and then it derailed into 7-Eleven jokes.
Let's not derail it.
Yeah. So I promised Zach not to do mega super chats anymore because it causes problems. He just didn't want to hear, everybody freak out. Radiac says he's liking this ride and excited to see how they use the Sinister Six concept. Big promises on that for much to look forward to. Just wanted more Spider-Man and Peter taking the reins and more family. I get that. Maker, but either one works. He made a deal with Reed instead of Mephisto.
Reed comes swaggering up. It's like, hey man,
Well,
I got a deal for you.
And Radiac is disappointed that he didn't learn any American history this time. So next time.
When did he learn American history?
In
Last
X-Men 97? I don't know.
No, it was us talking when we were talking about like when we were derailing and making the jokes that we were making. Yeah.
Was that what those were?
Any other questions? Anybody that is watching live before we sign off?
Thank you, Ashley.
No derailment here.
Going once, going twice.
Well, we got to wait for a few seconds because I think it's a second delay. What is not American about British Empire's death laser in Norman's house?
The UK called. They want their colonies back.
Damn.
This is for all that tea in the British harbor or in the Boston harbor. Does America not teach about this?
Is Boston the one? Your accent confused me, Zach.
Well, it was
Boston's getting back at themselves for the tea in the harbor.
He tries.
He tries.
Where was Reed born?
Listen, it was not a particularly well done accent at the time.
See, you
Oh, it
give
was
in
well
to that.
done. It
He's
was
gonna
just the
keep
wrong
going
one.
with them.
The sun never sets on the British Empire. Bullseye.
We
Oh my god. Okay, so Radiac
Oh
did.
no!
Oh no.
New rule: I will keep going until the panel turns red in the face.
Adam's the one to get, I feel. I feel like the rest of us
Yeah.
are pretty simple. I think Adam's
We
the
am
one.
already wearing red, so
Mhm.
So Radiac did ask a question earlier. I went back and I'm gonna throw it up. That do I have any thoughts on what the ultimate 2.0 of Spider-Man's character will be in this universe? I wonder how Otto would turn out, maybe take on Superior Ock. I think for some of them, like with Spider-Man, they're gonna play them relatively close to the characters we know and love. I do think though that most of the Sinister Six might not even be villains. Like they might be heroes that were just kept in from before the Maker changed everything. Because we need to remember that most of the characters in Maker's Cabal are heroes. Silver Samurai, I think, is the only character who isn't a hero or an established part of a hero when we meet them in Ultimate Invasion #2. Because most of them are Magic and Colossus, Hulk, Captain Britain, Sunspot's dad, I think, Emmanuel DaCosta, and Sunfire and is it Madam Viper or is it Sunfire's younger sister? But Silver Samurai is with the Yoshidas, and I think he's the only character.
Well, definitely.
I think that anybody can kind of be.
Radiac also asked if it would be possible for Kingsley in this world, even the Magia, Tombstone, Hammerhead, etc., with the powers angle. That's an interesting thing. Walter would like a new take on Kingpin that's not necessarily a villain, but more of a benefactor.
Marcy says it's Viper with Sunfire.
Oh yeah.
All right.
We'll figure out who the Sinister Six is. Hopefully, starting with next issue too. So, more to come, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so, ladies and gentlemen, we always got to thank our patrons over at patreon.com/Spideydude Network. Patrons like Allison, Cindy, Ed, Georgia, Greg, Janelle, Jessica, Jurgen, Joyce, Catherine, Kale, Laura, Howard, Lump Moose, Master Dremen, Phoenician, RJ, Scott, Vanessa, and Vicky. Then we got our spectacular tier of Sarah, Tara, and Walter. You see our friendly neighborhood tier up on the screen. Our VIPs are Scott and Venkman, other Scott and Venkman. Thank you guys for your support. If you want to check out exclusive content like our reviews of or commentaries of the MTV Man series, you can definitely check that out over at Patreon. And you got the exclusive Patreon first show, Books of X, the show covering the Cohen era of X-Men. If you have not already checked out our great interviews that we've done this year, like our spine-tingling Spider-Man interview with Juan Fiera, we got Spectacular Spider-Man with Greg Weisman, and Talking Clones, Mutants, and Proto-Goblins with JMD Mateus. Go check that out on the interview playlist on the YouTube channel. Check out Voices from the Eyrie, which is going a live version of Voices from the Eyrie at Comic Palooza this July 4th weekend. It is already confirmed, and we've got that set up. So if you have not, if you going to be up in the Minneapolis area and you want to check out all the great panels, they'll have the Voices from the Eyrie cast of Jen and Greg, as well as Greg Weisman and a whole other host of characters as well that were all part of the Gargoyles series. And then we got Amazing Spider-Man Classics, going to have a new episode with Javi and Pjaek dropping this Friday. So if you have not checked it out, go over to spidey-dude.com where you can check out our other fine shows like Clone Saga Chronicles, Spectacular Radio, and the Sal Buscema Era podcast. And finally, the show that is the sister program to this show here on the channel. We just finished up the reviews, and we are taking a bit of a break with Make My Mayday, but we'll be back with more later on in this August. So thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And if you have not already followed us on our social medias at Spideydude Radio on Twitter/X, on Facebook, Instagram, and Threads at Spideydude Network. And then, of course, if you have not already subscribed to our YouTube page at Spideydude Radio Network, please do so. If you're listening to the audio edition, thank you, and leave us that 5-star review. And of course, if you want to leave a voicemail, you can always leave us a voicemail at 818-925-6631. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Thanks for being a part of it. We'll see you next time here on the Spideydude Experience, where we'll be covering the Spectacular Spider-Man issue number 3.